Hello, and welcome to the War in the Pacific, where it's the 8th of April, 1942, in the Wirraway versus Encircled play-by-mail campaign. The overall major operations we have going on, the withdrawal of our army in central India, the amphibious invasion force moving, assembling for the assault on Ceylon. In China, we've got the yesterday we began the battle through the mountain passes into the Chungking Plain, which will play out over many weeks, I'm sure. And then in the South Pacific, uh, withdrawing our amphibious task forces after the successful invasion of Samay Island and the naval battles around it. The only ongoing challenge in the South Pacific is to try to get the heavy cruiser Aguro to safety after she was damaged by gunfire and then hit by the submarine Dolphin as she withdrew from South Island. I-159 takes a beating. Looks like our enemy submarine stumbled across one of our task forces in the Bay of Bengal. Doesn't look like it made contact. And just a quick location probably didn't give away much. Looks like the Allies are going after the withdrawing army. Or as the Imperial Japanese Navy likes to tell, Army likes to tell the Emperor, we're just attacking in a different direction. Generally follow, at least at the moment, since we're not trying any significant deception with air operations. Where our bombers are hitting is where our main efforts are. Only exception to that is India and Hanshi, which is an area of interest certainly, but not a main effort. It's going after our paratroopers. Interesting. And B-17's hitting. This made a consistent effort more. The zero swoops come in behind yeah, the sallies that hit Bunchy. So Sargo. So Sargo runs across our amphibious task force, sees Chiyoda and Chikuma. So if he's paying attention, you may think, hmm, those are typically with carriers. Another warning on Higuro. So here, first Royal Thai Army is shocking across the river with 14th Tank, and it's supported by the 4th Royal Army Division, which is already in the Hex. Wasn't wasn't because of the combat power of its units. I wasn't terribly worried about that shock attack. Meaning that it would be slaughtered. It seemed a better approach than the long walk around, um, since the tactical situation and the enemy's capabilities didn't seem to warrant it, a long walk around. It's good to be largely proven right every once in a while. More guard units arriving in Tokyo. Those that are experienced uh, will send to the front. Those that come in inexperienced will go to the Philippines for combat experience around Clark and eventually the Bataan. So we're ready to redeploy the veteran 8th and 1st Divisions. That will be our theater reserve, while the 5th, the Home Island Divisions and Naval Guard units continue the long fight. Clark. We've occupied Quelon, which is good. Want to stop any resource production. Again, part of our goal in this whole southern campaign is to remove more supply production from the Chinese army, though the campaign to Xi'an and Lanshao has had the most impact on that, cutting fuel that feeds China King's heavy industry. See, we're way up north, still closing in for the final attack on Sining. That is still to do. And our units are recovering for another attack in the mountains. Just check and see how first Thai army is division is not in bad shape, except for its disruption. While the armor unit is essentially unaffected. So we'll let the first Thai division recover its disruption and then finish off this fight. Meanwhile, the 112th Infantry Regiment will take Pittagong, paratroopers to take Camilla, and will drive the Allies out of Rangpur and rail more forces into Dimapur for the final attack on Lido. This being part of the Bengal campaign, so we get fuel flowing from Lido to Calcutta, so we don't have to continue shipping fuel for the heavy industry in Bengal. Talked about that before. Reinforcements supply heading into Calcutta. He so far hasn't made any serious attempts to interdict the shipping by air power. Every once in a while he tries it. They use typically Oscars or zeros on long range cap to escort them as they get close. And so I think that's kept him away. Looked like it was single division, American division, if I remember right. Maybe not. Maybe it was an Indy division. Let's just check. Ranchi. Ranchi. Thought bombed the ground troops, but apparently not. Before they moved out. But my memory of this is a American division, and this is a small British unit. But right now we're not in any particular difficult situation to hold what we've got here while we continue to withdraw the bulk of the army here. We have the Cylon Invasion Task Force ready to go. This is the supporting infantry regiments, independent regiment. So we really have two divisions available, 48th and which is making its way here. 48th Division with support, supply, engineers, and I don't recall. These are elements of independent regiment. For some reason, I thought these were 56th Division, but I made that up. But it's still, and it's not fully reorganized yet. Yeah, 56th Division. So we have two regiments of the 56th Division. I'm sorry, three regiments of the 56th Division. Uh, it's artillery. We don't have its recon engineers. You can remember they were destroyed in the initial attempt at invading Ceylon, and then we have the full 48th Division and support troops. So approximately two divisions for the Ceylon operation. Potentially overkill, but we talked about the strategic importance of Ceylon before. Um, with Ceylon in enemy hands, all of our operations to reinforce India and eventually the defense of Burma, Sumatra is significantly complicated. With Ceylon in our hands, it's significantly simplified, and Ceylon also can act as a support base for eventual operations along the coast of India, um, particularly while Diego Garcia remains in our hands. And that's part of our upcoming operation. We will be salting Adu. Um, and previous very limited reconnaissance of Adu suggests it's only lightly held. So um, unless we get indicators otherwise, it will be a supplemental operation to the Ceylon campaign. Okay, many thousand miles away. Let's just check and see how Aguirre's doing. Uh, no, no significant issues here. Again, as long as she doesn't run into an enemy submarine, um, he should be fine. And don't think he knows where she's going. He's going to refuel Task Force 30. Reef Island is going to be built up uh, as part of our long-term defensive strategy around the Solomons. Okay, I think I haven't looked in the Aleutians in a while. Is a submarine operating off there? He built up Akutan. He built up Cold Bay. Okay. Can't really, we don't want to make any sort of significant effort in the Aleutians in the foreseeable future. So that's fine. And in terms of 53rd Division has arrived. Its Mixed Brigade is still there. 11th Division will get will be part of the force along with the 53rd. and then the 25th Division, and we'll probably have to bring in one more or so to allow a rotation. Um, because I didn't make a significant effort to suppress the airfield at Clark early on. He's probably built up forts. Um, Also some indication he may have been able to sneak some supply into Clark. So, uh, this is part of the challenge with uh, bypassing the Philippines early. Um, it's going to be a pretty protracted fight. But again, you can control the pace of the fighting, rotate divisions in and out. Um, and so I don't try to avoid getting too worried or fixated on Clark and the baton. It will fall, and it will fall in a timely manner. And the divisions I'm using there can use the experience. So I think the bypass the Philippine strategy is valid. Um, I don't remember the circumstances exactly. I probably, in retrospect, would have tried to make more of an effort to suppress fort building at Clark. Um, but of course, it would have taken bombers away from elsewhere. So there's always an opportunity cost to it. Anyway, it's all good. And I look forward to our next chance to talk.